Hey YouTube, how you going? Welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be creating the backend functionality to support deleting a folder from the knowledge management SaaS application that I've been building. I think out of all of the potential requests, delete requests are perhaps the easiest because you're not really passing in too much data and you don't really have to do a whole heap of manipulation of that data. These are some of the things that I want to work on. You can see here that we need this ability to delete the folder. And if you've seen my previous videos, I do have this kind of reusable prompt that I create. So we've got a new user story. As a user, I want to be able to delete a folder. I give Claude context of the kind of data object, or at least point it in the right direction of the model, and then talk about some of the preferences. So we need a delete request to folders/delete folder with a folder ID, and as part of this, we're going to save this component in components, folders, and then within that subfolder titled delete folder, and therefore we're going to have each of these files. So again, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, typically when you create an application, you have some logic which calls potentially services, middleware, utilities across, so it's very reusable. In working with AI, I do try and keep a much more flatter structure where everything is retained kind of within, as much as possible, one folder. So for example, you can see what we did here with edit tags, and that was in one of the previous videos. So it should be fairly self-explanatory, and we also always ask Claude if it has any questions before it proceeds. If not, it should automatically go ahead and create that. So we're going to cut and paste this into Claude, and Claude already has our knowledge where we upload all of our existing files, or at least as many of them that I feel are relevant for the project. So hopefully Claude comes back with only a couple of questions or no questions, and in my experience using this prompt, compartmentalizing all of the functionality, we can normally get Claude to write code that works either straight off the bat or with just one or two small updates. Okay, so yeah, this is something I'd forgotten to consider. Currently we don't support child folders or subfolders on the front end, but it is built into the back end. Good question. So one, prevent deletion of a parent folder, and say you can't delete a parent folder without first deleting child folders. Set the folder field to null. Use existing error types, or advise if you need to create new ones. Yes, basic auth, and then just check the company ID matches the company ID on the folder, and that the user ID is a user associated with the company. And then if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know, also remember that to get the company ID, we need to get rec.user and then populate company from the user ID. Yes, the validation. Okay, so actually a couple more questions than I expected for a delete route, but good to see AI continuing to prompt us in the right direction. So while we wait for that, we're going to have in this folders delete folder. It's a bit of a mouthful. And then obviously we're going to be able to start getting all of our files here. So we will run through this once it's already, it hasn't used custom error types, but that's okay. We'll get this working first. We'll run through this once all of the functionality is here. Save that. All right, utils. Services. Controller. Routes. And then finally in our index, need to bring in that, and we need to call this. Right, let's try and put this. So from our route, we go here. Well, from index, we go to our specific route. Delete folder / folder ID. We've got our validation chains. Checks that the ID exists. It goes through validate requests if there's an issue, and then calls our controller. So delete folder. Basically, we're just getting the folder ID off params, and then we're calling our delete folder service. In delete folder service, we have a couple of things. So we get our user, and then we populate company from the user, and if no user, okay, validate company access here. So folder await checks that the folder exists. So it's just getting the folder ID. Then it actually, let's run through these and then go into the utils. Validates user company access, checks for children folders, removes deleted folder from notes, and then actually deletes the folder. So each of those functionalities occur in our utils file. So if we go to utils, we can validate the folder exists. We validate user company access. So if no user.company or user.company.id string does not equal the ID of the company from the folder, then we're unauthorized to delete that. We check for children folders. So parent folder, folder ID. If children cannot delete folder with children folders, child folders, please delete child folders first. Then here we remove delete folder name from notes, so await notes, update many, folder, folder ID, set folder ID to nothing, null, and then here's where we delete the actual folder by the ID. So all fairly self-explanatory based on that. What we are going to do is we're just going to come back here and say in the validation chains you didn't use our custom error types. Please adjust. I could do this myself, but just for the purpose of showing everyone using AI. So this is going to bring in validation error and then pass that. So if you see here, instead of throwing new error, it'll throw new validation error. Essentially, the code still would work, but anyway. So now what we've got to do is we've got to come over here to Postman, send. To log in, we're going to get our token, copy. First of all, we're going to get all folders. So let's just come here, send that. Then what we're going to do is we'll add a new request and we'll call this delete. And then let's go to get all folders, copy, paste this here, and it'll be delete folder. Oh, pretty sure that's what it was. Delete folder and then folder ID. So get folders. Let's delete this one. So PPC is the name. And then in our headers, we need to pass in authorization. We need to pass in our bearer token again. So, nope, where's get all folders? Get all tags, get all folders. Copy. Send. Sorry, I think I got an ID off of tags, did I? Yeah, I must have. So folder deleted successfully. So update marketing 2 should delete. And there we go. So very simple, very straightforward to do that with AI. Now what I'm going to say is great, that works. Now I want you to do the same. This time though, create the code for deleting tags. Delete, not tags, deleting a tag. Please let me know if you have any questions. If not, write all the code. Just trying to think if there's any other things that might be slightly different that we might want to prompt it. So we're not logged in. Folders, there's only one. Tags can be multiple, but we're deleting a tag at a time. You'd set, so probably say, please note that notes can have multiple tags. So if we delete a tag, we are only deleting that one tag. Therefore, when updating notes, we can't just set the tags field to null. If there is tag 1 and tag 2, and we delete tag 1, the note should still reference tag 2. That's the main difference. Tags still have IDs. We want to check that they exist. Also, there is no concept of child tags, so we don't need to allow for that. What else is there? I think that's it. So let's send that. See if it has any questions. I'm hoping with the context from before that it doesn't, but no big deal. Delete tag. Cool. So it's going to go ahead and create that functionality for us. So if we go out of folders into tags, we're going to add our new subfolder called delete tag. Again, keeping everything compartmentalized, and we're going to go through and create this functionality. So delete tag.validation change.js. Scroll up. It has successfully brought in our validation error from our error type, so we don't need to worry about that. Next file is delete tag.utils. Then delete tag.services. Save that. Delete tag.controller. And delete tag.routes. And then of course we need to go into our index and bring in the import of that route. So bring that here, save, and then tags. Sorry if you can hear a whole heap of wind, it's quite windy this evening. Alright, now what we can do is we can go to get all tags. Let's just bring our bearer token though so that we make sure we have the right bearer token, because I'm not sure if we logged in differently. Okay, cool. And then this is the tag we're trying to delete before when I thought it was a folder. So we'll do that. We'll come over here, do a new request, delete. Let's just put in this header first. Sorry, I got the ID first. Authorization. Let's just copy. Where is it? Save us some time. So tags, delete tag. Now I need that ID. Copy, paste, and then we still need our bearer token. I know I can set this up as a variable. I keep meaning to do it. I don't. Right, now hit send. Tag deleted successfully. If we go here to get all tags, that one there, PPC, should disappear, and it's gone. So what's that? 15 minutes, including me talking and explaining the logic. We've successfully created 2 new API endpoints, one to delete folders, one to delete tags, and just run through this functionality. We've obviously got our validation chains, does the same thing, checks an ID, tag ID is required, and then it actually, like, even if we go here, if we go here and go here, and like let's do, like, it should throw the error, validation failed, invalid tag ID. Cool. So then we go from our route to our controller, which basically just calls the service, which is where we then reference all of the individual functionality. It has, unlike the previous code that I wrote for editing folders, it's put the finding the user and populated company here, checks that the user exists, and then we've got these utils. So validate that tag exists, validate company access, remove tag from notes, and delete tag, and these all sit in our utils. So again, very compartmentalized. Tag, find tag by ID. If no tag, throw an error. Validate user access. So if no user.company or user.company.id to string doesn't equal the same company ID off the tag, then unauthorized to delete this tag. Remove the tag from notes. So update many tags, tag ID, and then we just pull the individual tag ID, so we don't delete the whole array. And then once we've done that, we can delete the tag. So we find the ID, find tag by ID, and delete it. So that's all of the functionality there for very quickly and easily creating that functionality. And we can. Well, we've ticked off the backend. I ticked that off a little bit early. We now need to also do it on the front end, but we'll be covering that in a later video. We do have some additional functionality now that we need to build for editing and deleting existing notes. But before we do that, I will stop this video and commit this. So git add, git commit -m, added ability to edit and delete tags and folders. Cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.